Hey guys, James here from Replica Reviews again. Now you'll have to excuse the slightly kind of man flu ridden excuse of me today. But unfortunately we're not doing too well. But the video today was basically, we were sifting around the forum the other day and somebody said to me, PCP rifles make shooting boring. And that we shouldn't be shooting PCP rifles, we should be shooting springers, gas rams, that kind of thing. And it got me thinking, well, why do people think that shooting PCPs is boring? Now, in the thought process, having a chat with a couple of the guys that we shoot with, a lot of people, I'm aware, will only shoot in their garden, because obviously not everybody's fortunate enough to have farms that they're on, or clubs like the one that we're here today. So we got thinking, and the general consensus was your average back garden for your normal house, so just a bog standard house, is probably going to be about 15 yards. In the cramped land that is England, you know, gardens are very few and far between, especially in new builds, but for your older ones, you know, it's still only relatively small. So we're thinking about 15 yards. So that's what we're going to be basing this experiment on. So we've set a couple of targets out of 15 yards, and we're just going to shoot them. We'll fire groups of 5 shots at the targets, and we'll see, you know, what kind of groups we get. Now, obviously, the rifle we're going to be using is a PCP. It's the Firebird HW100, and as you can see, it's the KT version, the carbine thumb hole. So 15 yards for this gun should not be an issue at all. So what we'll do is we'll quickly swap to scope cam, and we'll nail the target down to 15 yards, and we'll see what kind of grouping we get from it. We'll then go out and have a quick look at the target and so on and so forth, and then we'll move on and kind of look into this, well, why is it boring, a little bit more. Okay guys, so here we are with our 15-yard target. You can see we've just got a couple of the smaller spots up there, and we'll shoot 5-shot groups, I think, we'll put into them and see exactly what's going on. So, there we go, so that's one. Okay, so that's basically one. So we'll go on to the next one. Okay, so I can see groups like that. You can see the centre one there, and that's when I wasn't messing around with the scope cam and things like that. I can understand how that'll get boring, because you're literally just getting your rifle pointed at the target and dialing straight through the centre, and I completely get how that might be perceived as being a little bit boring. But I think at this point it's really important to kind of think outside the box. Now, if you're limited by space, look at other options. I mean, we use these at the club quite a lot, paintballs. Now, they are great fun. So we'll put some of those out in a minute. Got some Firebird reactive targets. You've even got the shooting C targets. I mean, they're good fun. But you've also got things like, you know, the old CO2 cartridges, your little 12-gram cartridges. So, and yeah, as Paul's just thrown at me there, old tins, you know, split them in half, and you've got 2 targets that you can just batter around the garden. So what we'll do is we'll explore some of these other options. So I've got an old CO2 cartridge out there. We'll go and hide some paintballs. We'll go back to scope cam and we'll just shoot some stuff, really. See what else we got, and then we'll up the ante a little bit further in the video. Okay, guys. So here we just have a selection, really, of just ideas that I've come up with. Now, obviously, old batteries, they're probably not the most sensible thing to be shooting in the world, but you know, they still fall over and they're a little bit different. But paintballs, as you can see, the paintball on the side here. Now, these are good fun. And they just explode, and obviously being completely biodegradable, you don't have to worry too much. And if they do, God forbid, get on clothes or anything like that, if you've got washing out, you just wash it straight out. Now, old CO2 cartridges. Now, if you shoot and you've got a replica gun or whatever, you will literally have hundreds of these things left. Now, I know days that we have shooting, I'll easily have, you know, 10, 15 of these laying around. If you had mates over or whatever, you know, they're everywhere, and they are good fun to shoot as well. See if we can hit it. There we go. Nice. So as you can see, paintballs really good fun to shoot. Obviously, they're biodegradable, so the shells, you know, they rot away into the floor relatively quickly. And as I say, if it does get on washing or, you know, clothes when you're picking them up or whatever, it just washes straight back out. Now, depending on where you go, they can be, well, it depends, cost. It can be, like anything, it can be as cheap or as expensive you want it to make. We don't use them for paintball, so we just buy some cheap generic ones and we keep them up in the club. So that's kind of option one that you might want to explore. Now, if your missus or your parents don't want you making mess, the other option, of course, is chalk targets. Now, these ones here are from Bisley, good British company, and you can put these out, hang them out. We've got a system with little hooks on. You hook them up, and you can shoot them for as long as you want. And like with the paintballs, they are completely biodegradable. So if you are only shooting in your garden, after a bit of rain, bit of water or whatever, they just wash away, and you've got no residue or debris or anything like that. So what we're going to do is we'll put them out on our little, well, it just looks like a glorified washing line, really. And we'll put them out, and we'll go back to scope cam, and yeah, let's have a little bit more fun. Okay, guys, so here we have the chalk. It's out about 45 yards, so a little bit further this time, but we'll see what we can do. Okay guys, this is something a little bit different. Now, this is, you know, very much a case of saving the best till last. And if you're really still at this point thinking, oh my god, PCPs are boring, what you need to do is start shooting at these. Now, these are Firebird reactive targets. They come in at about £10 a pack, and as you can see, you get 10 targets per pack, a holder and the screws, which is quite cool. Now, these things, they reckon, are about 110 decibels, give or take, which in the grand scheme of things is similar to like a flashbang and things like that. Now, the idea with these targets is you hit them, there's a big puff of smoke and a big flash, and everybody's, well, again, maybe not one for the back garden, but they are really good fun. The first time we let them off was in my friend's back garden of all places. Sunday morning, bang, it went off, dogs barking, the lot. Now, they do two different ones. You've got the quiet ones, which are supposed to be a little bit less. And I think off the top of my head, these are about 80 decibels, give or take. And then these ones here are the full-blown exploding ones, which are 110. Now, I've tested both fairly extensively. We've been using these out on the range and the farm and all sorts for quite a while. And I think, give or take, they are, to me, they sound the same. They are both as loud. You get more of a puff of smoke with these and a bit more kind of, well, a bit more of a show with the quiet ones, I think. But these are equally as good. So what we're going to do is, because obviously I don't want to upset too many people, we're going to start off with these. And I'm going to go and put them around and hide a few. And yeah, let's make them explode. That's cute. Okay guys, so that is pretty much the end of the video. Whether it be target shooting, you know, chalk, paintballs, stuff like that, or even the Firebird reactive targets, shooting can be as fun or as boring as you want to make it. It's one of those things, if you're bored just punching holes in paper, just think outside the box and think, well, what can I do to spice some things up? Now, target shooting is your cup of tea. There are other options. Obviously, you've got the shoot and see targets. Jackpite do some, and they just stick on anything. You can stick them on bits of metal, wood, whatever. And we found they stick on jackets as well, but obviously you don't shoot them. And then obviously Birch and Cassie, they do the original shoot and sees. So it's one of these videos. It's just one of those things. I just want to show that yes, PCPs can make shooting a lot easier. Can being the optimal word. Now, obviously, like with any rifle, it goes to who's behind it. If you understand your holdovers, your pellets, and all the rest of it, it can get very, very clinical, very precise, and obviously you will hit groups like this just all the time. If PCPs aren't your thing, then yeah, you know, I'm not going to preach to any of the converted or vice versa. Springer shooters that won't shoot PCPs will always say, you know, oh, they make it too easy and all the rest of it. But the main point that you want to try and make today is just, it is what you make it. If you make, or you limit yourself to just shooting paper, of course, punching holes in paper, I can see how that would get really boring. But if you think outside the box, there are so many great options available to you. So my only advice, if you are finding it a little bit boring with your PCP rifle, go out, buy some paintballs, buy some chalk, buy some Firebird reactive targets, buy some, you know, shiny targets, whatever. Just experiment with something different. And I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. You know, shooting can be enjoyable. And if it still isn't your cup of tea, then obviously stick to your springers or join a club, or, you know, do what works for you. There's too many people in this kind of industry as such that are telling you this is what you must do, this is what you mustn't, this is what you must like. It goes on, and there's always that kind of preconceived notion that PCP rifles are expensive and all the rest of it. But like anything, it's expensive or as cheap as you make it, and it's as fun or as boring as you make it. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video today, guys. We'll have plenty more coming. And I am going to do a full review on these because they're hilarious. We didn't realise quite how loud they were going to be. We have just had the local farmer turn up as well and ask us who was shooting the shotgun or the rifle. So it kind of puts it in perspective on this. So thanks for watching, guys. Any questions, any comments, anything like that, just leave them in the box below. But until next time, cheers.